All right, so welcome everyone. We're going to get started in our restorative class. First and foremost, make sure you have all your props. So a couple of pillows, and for those of us who are joining and it's winter time, make sure you have a blanket. So there's a couple of uses for a blanket. I just want to go over this really briefly. First and foremost is that a blanket is really helpful anytime we're laying on our back. So most of us, the gap between our shoulders and the back of our head, we need just a little extra cushion back here. So I'll lead us through it in some of our practices tonight. But just make sure you have a blanket ready, and we're going to sort of lay down on the shoulders. It gives a little extra space for the back of your neck. And also you can have another one if you'd like that can keep you warm. If you're in cool climate, then just grab a sheet and put a sheet over you, or do as you wish. And then anything else that you might like. I would recommend that you have like a little something going, like a candle, or you have a picture frame of somebody who's meaningful to you. These are all ways that we can really invoke the most out of our practice. So I understand we're all at home, and so we have to take that extra step ourselves to make wherever we are, whatever portion of our house, into our yoga studio. All right, you guys, so let's start in a comfortable seat. And there's no better way to start a class than to just tense the body, and we're going to go right into a vibration of tensing and exhale to the mouth, and we're just going to let go of nervous energy, nervous tension out of the body. So when you're ready, you can join. It's a double inhale. Squeeze your body, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until it shakes, and then relax. So make it nice and smooth again. Even squeeze the face. And let it out. Last one, give it 100%. And relax. Okay, I need another one. One more. Good, and relax. Let's just circulate the arms a couple times. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Palms facing down, showering the body with light. Calming energy. Again, feeling the arms are moving through a medium of liquid or a fluid state of energy and awareness. Palms gently bathing the body. Good, and one more time, focus all your attention into your spine if you can, the center of your physical being. Good. And maybe take one more when you get to the top, hands joining together in prayer, symbolic of all your energy gathering together. And as you exhale, feel it sealing back into the center. Some of us might actually be able to feel with interoception, which is awareness of the inner body. Hands can rest in the heart for a few moments. You might take some deep breaths in through the nose, feeling cool breath washing over the front side of the brain, through the body. And exhaling, just loosen the mental grip on the physical body, a little bit more ease. And energetically feel like you are expanding your horizons. Maybe you're standing at the top of a mountain and you can see with great perspective the vastness of this experience. Let's try this. Take the hands over the head, still in prayer for just a moment, so that you can become aware of the space above the head. This is mountain pose. The affirmation, I lift my thoughts and energy up to touch the sky. I lift my thoughts and energy up to touch the sky. When you're ready, you can inhale and expand the palms wide, maybe look up, and then exhale, just let everything really anchor in at this point, palms resting down. So let's start with some toning today. We're going to go up through the energy centers. And if you've done this before, you can just sort of get real settled in here. So we're using the vibration of our voice to vibrate through the different centers in the body. So we're going to start all the way at the root, which is sort of this low, grumbling Om, and we're going to use the Om all the way up rather than the seed sound. So it's very easy. You just use the sound of Om. So Om is commonly spelled O-M, but the actual pronunciation is A-U-M. So it's not Aum. It's still Om, but just feel that sense of depth, open voice, open lungs. All right, good. So we're going to start down, and it's best to close the eyes. See if you can feel the actual center vibrating in the body. Some of us may be blessed to have this experience. Others of us may see color. Some of us may not see anything at all. It's all perfect for your body and experience. So you can harmonize with the sound of my voice. Again, the first sound is very low. It's a low G. And the root is at the very base of the spine. Just take a moment to go to the spiritual eye, let that energy start to lift. And then just a couple finger widths above the root is Svadhisthana, or the second chakra. The spiritual eye for a few moments. Let's move up the Manipur or the solar plexus above the belly button and the soft navel. Listen at the spiritual eye. In the Anahata or the heart chakra, so right where the breastbone is, directly in the center of the body. Make sure you're sitting perfectly upright. Gaze to the spiritual eye. Move up to Vishuddha chakra, which is at the base of the throat, in between the collarbones. Try to remain relaxed as the energy is flowing stronger upward now. We're going to come to the back of the neck, base of the skull. This is the negative pole of the sixth chakra, Agya chakra, or the spiritual eye. This is also the seat of the ego. So let's just stay there for a few moments. We're going to go right to the point between the two eyebrows. Just take a moment to listen. Let's finish at the crown, Sahasrar. So like someone's plucking one of the hairs at the very top of your head. Sit nice and tall and let the vibration open. Let's go through rather quickly through all of them. So we'll go down to the root. Again, soften the body, seat the awareness right at the point between the two eyebrows. Just notice how your body feels. If you have more energy, if you feel more harmonious or aligned. Whenever you're ready, you can inhale and press the palms all the way up into the sky. Lift the energy as high as you can in the body through tips of the fingers, and feel yourself spreading out as you draw the hands down on exhalation. Take a few rounds like this. Palms are facing up. It's like you have an elevator running through the spine. All the way up. It's a Willy Wonka elevator that leaves the crown of the head and keeps going. Just spread that energy around. Good. Keep the body soft. Maybe another round here. Really let yourself expand beyond boundary of skin, into the earth, into the sky. Good, and if you can, stay in your seat for another moment or two. We're just going to very gently draw the hands in front of us, palms touching, with the sound of Om, and then draw the hands behind you, and the sound of Tat, and the hands back in front of you, Sat. This is a practice that Yogananda taught, and to visualize that you have rings of light surrounding your body as a way to strengthen your own personal magnetism, to strengthen the energetic body. So do so nice and relaxed. You're moving through a fluid medium around you. Nice and natural. If you get a little groove going, go a little faster, a little slower, it's your choice. You're saying Om Tat Sat. Om in front of the body, Tat behind the body, Sat. And then whenever you're ready to release that practice, we'll inhale, palms facing up, reach above the head, and very gently seal the hands into the heart. Notice how you feel energetically, how your energy feels, your mood, your perspective, your mind. All the awareness to the spiritual eye for the final few moments. You can release your hands whenever you're ready. And then, as is natural, you can gently release that practice. So it's a really nice way to just tune the body up. There are videos online that you can watch where people will take you through that little series if you enjoyed that. So we're going to go ahead and set up right away for our restorative fish pose. We'll come in here, and those of us who aren't familiar with the pose, you're just taking a couple of pillows behind the body and either a blanket or an additional pillow for the head. And you can relax your body down under the supports. Legs can go long, they can be crossed. You can have feet touching with knees open. In this style of class, the focus is not so much on putting yourself in the maximum posture, but more finding a posture that you can sustain, something that won't distract you or draw your attention further outside of yourself. And once you get into the pose, you do all your little wiggles, your little final adjustments. It can be really nice to sort of tuck the shoulder blades underneath the heart and create a little nest for the heart to rest in. Just be mindful that your chin isn't flipping above your nose. I see this very common, and this makes it quite hard for the energy to rise beyond the heart and the throat. And what we're really looking for is energy to come into the spiritual eye. Now, if you can do this, hold one hand on the back or the base of your head and the other palm on the front. It's not so important which side you do. Just let it be natural. And if you could just do a little motion with the hand behind to draw your attention to the base of your skull. This is the medulla oblongata. Very important. It's the entry point of life force in the body. And really feel a sense of presence behind. And then as it's natural, you might do a little rubbing with the front hand, if need be, or just shift your awareness to the front palm. Breathe deeply here, whole body relaxing. Soften the palms and maybe visualize within that there are shafts of light extending from the palms into the brain. That any negativity, any dark thoughts, downward pulling energy is being carried perfectly into that light. And if you'd like to stay, you can, and it feels nourishing. Some of us might rest our hands on our heart, Others of us, if we are looking for a sense of grounding, you might hold onto your belly at this point in the practice. Others of us are ready to dive into our practice, and we have palms facing up on either side of the body. Just imagine rising up your spine from the root all the way up through the sacral center, the lumbar dorsal, all the way up through the throat, into the brain. It's all your energy. And the attention that may previously have been pointed out towards the senses of the sight and hearing, sound, taste, and smell now are all being drawn into the body. See if you can willfully participate and feel that as an extension of the exhalation, a little bit longer. It's almost like before a giant wave comes, all the water starts to recede. And this is what we're doing. We're drawing all of the energy away from the outer shores of our being. We're drawing it in towards the center where it becomes powerful. And let that wave then wash up through the spine. Let that energy carry up the body. And we'll start with a chant in this posture. Let's start with Door My Heart. We'll do this one in Spanish. A dear friend of mine said that Spanish is the language of love for God, of divine love. So as you listen to these words, which have been charged for over 100 years now, with yogis chanting these words, and the poetry even goes beyond and before that, but this particular melody. And just imagine, even now, there are most likely people practicing somewhere in the world who are either listening to this chant or they're actually performing it, participating in it. And let your consciousness sync up with that higher consciousness. This is called attunement. And if you feel to, you can keep the awareness centered at the spiritual eye. Keep it as high in the body as you can, but no higher than the spiritual eye. you feel to draw the awareness to the spiritual eye and just remain in silence and stillness for a few moments. As you're ready, you can begin to return energy from the spine out to the limbs, from the innermost portion of your body back into the circulation of blood and oxygen into the muscles. And let yourself arrive back in the physical body in a natural way and start articulating. Maybe it's the hands, maybe you're doing little points or presses with the toes. You might even feel to circle the arms out nice and wide. Let the awareness remain in the heart while you do these little movements with the arms. Another nice one is soft fists on side of the heart, and just send the hands with a long exhale reaching from the heart up into the space above you. So anything that feels comfortable. Let's take a final breath and feel all the energy like a tidal wave rising through the body up to the spiritual eye and expanding, breaking on endless shores of infinite consciousness. Let your whole sense of self expand, and then you can start to step your feet back onto the earth. Let it be natural. If you feel like you need to stretch one leg out nice and long, or maybe switch sides here. Sometimes the body just needs a little bit of a stretch or circle one of the feet and ankles. Who knows what pockets of tension are ready to leave the body in this environment, and then slowly see if you can start to lift yourself up here so that your hands are supporting you. It's quite nice to take a little roll of the knees left and right, just a little arching of the back as you look in the opposite direction. And each movement intentional, mindful, so as to keep the awareness inward drawn. We're not trying to pull ourselves out, but just enough movement to take care of those little parts of the body that are looking for a little stretch. And when you finish with that little movement in your own time, we're going to sweep the feet around and behind us. And this is a great pose to take a blanket underneath your knees. We're coming into child's pose. Some of us don't need all this direction and we'll just dive right in. If you have sensitive ankles, place a pillow underneath the ankles. And if you have sensitive knees, or it's challenging to sit over your ankles, place a pillow in between. It can be so nice to sit here for a few moments and just let your chest really open, your heart be broad, and your palms facing up on the lap. This is hero's pose or Vajrasana. And the affirmation of the spiritual eye: in inner stillness I touch my strength. In inner stillness I touch my strength. And then, of course, when it's natural for you to do so, you may need additional pillows. You just start to lay the body forwards, coming onto forearms. You can also stack one fist on top of the other and rest here. But as this is restorative, you may like to have a pillow in the lap. You may even make a little tower to rest your chest on, just make sure that your head and your neck can let go and down. In the affirmation for child's pose, I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Sometimes it takes a little experimentation with this child's pose. If you find another version, feel free to dive in. And each of the energy centers in your spine has a negative pole represented along the back side of the body. The root, in fact, is the negative pole of Sahasrara, the crown. The back side of the sacrum, or the back side of your hips, Svadhisthana. Manipur, or the solar plexus, represented near the center of the back. Anahata, the back side of the heart. And Vishuddha, the base of the neck and back side of the body. Negative pole of Agya Chakra at the base of the skull, the entry point of prana into the body. And in the grand finale, the moment of expansive consciousness, send with laser beam-like focus from the back side of your skull right through the brain to the spiritual eye. And let all the boundaries of the body soften, superficial boundaries of skin, of mind, of personality. With a growing light so bright that it suffuses those superficial boundaries until they're indistinguishable from one another. And there's just perfect light. See if you could notice the breath slowing down. It can almost get to a point of stillness. Usually on the back end of the exhalation, there's a moment, it almost feels like, just like you're sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Perfect, silent stillness. And the breath will come back as it will. And then when you're ready to, you can start to make your way out of the position. We won't spend too much time here. And we are going to rise up and come into a pigeon pose. So this is quite fun to try. You're just going to start by stepping your right foot back. So you're on all fours and step your right foot as far back as you can. If you can step it further enough back to take your left ankle and swing it out to the side, you're most welcome to. And then start with pillows underneath the hips. They're more important than the front side of the body. And I recommend both sides. Really pack those pillows under there if you have extra supply. And then slowly start to lower the head. If you have extra pillows, you can place them in front. You might come down onto forearms. Also, if you have your blanket could be a nice support as well on the front side of the body. So really settle into the pose. Don't worry about being too finicky. Just find a position that's good enough for now. Yeah, perfect. By now you may have learned in this class you'll need a full catalog of pillows for any of these postures. Soft ones, firm ones, big and small. This particular posture has a wonderful balancing effect. In the Svadhisthana, or the second energy center in the body, imagine that your hips are a bowl and they're holding water. And sometimes in the center we get so agitated that the body, our whole being, becomes restless, and we're seeking one thing to the next to return us back to peace. And in your practice, imagine these waters being still, perfectly reflecting your true nature. And imagine them crystal clear, that you can look right into the depths of this center and see perfectly to its center. You might even visualize shafts of light shining down through the water right to the base, to the center. Let's use the affirmation, I offer myself freely into the flow of grace. I offer myself freely into the flow of grace, and let those flowing waters wash through your body. Now all paths lead back to the spiritual eye. We're going to gently begin to rise out of this posture. For some of us, it can be quite challenging. And let's just honor that by coming out of the pose. If it feels inaccessible to you, just come onto your back. You can open your eyes if you're in that position where it's inaccessible, and you can just cross one leg over the other and step up onto a set of pillows. If you're coming onto the other side, just go ahead and begin to make your way. Switching legs, adjusting pillows. So very important to have a pillow underneath the right hip, perhaps the most important spot. And then under front side of the left hip will create a nice cushion. And again, if you have your blanket or additional pillows, you can just rest down towards the forearms. just keep diving in with deeper and deeper awareness. Let's have a chant to take us deeper into the posture. This is a chant to invoke the presence of whoever you hold as the beloved form of the divine. It can even just be as simple as a quality of unconditional love or joy or peace. For some of us, the form may be more personal, as Divine Mother, Heavenly Father. It can even be a personage throughout history, like Krishna, Paramhansa, Yogananda. Jesus Christ. Make sure your final moments, you're touching back with your awareness to the point between the two eyebrows. And feel the unconditionally loving presence taking you by the hand and guiding you from within your own self to the direction that is perfect for your own personal evolution. When you're ready to slowly begin awakening out of the position, just go ahead and do so. Let the head be the last part of the body to rise up. It can be nice as you're coming back onto hands and knees to just take the hands a little bit wider, broad fingers, and then start with a little circling of the hips. Keep the eyes closed if possible. And start spiraling from your center to wider and wider circles until you find the boundary of the personal expression of your body, and everything else is relaxed. The energy is still centered high in the body at the spiritual eye. Anything that's being stimulated, rinsing up the spine. Make sure you reverse in the opposite direction for an equal portion of time. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Expression on the face is at ease. You might even have a inner feeling of serenity glowing from beneath your skin. And then as you get back to neutral position, let's just go ahead and sweep our feet out in front of our body. Now is a good time for your blanket. You take your blanket with a little bit of a fold, and you're going to sit right onto the edge of your blanket. Extend your legs out nice and long. If you have a pillow or two that you'd like to place on your lap, it can be nice to experiment and see how many you can sort of fit into that space, and then just let the body fold forward. You might cross the arms. If the blanket's not enough for support, then set a pillow underneath, but just make sure you're sitting on the edge, and this will turn your pelvic bowl and the rest of your spine to lay forwards. It doesn't really matter how far you get here. You can also hold your own head in your palms. That can be quite soothing. And let's be especially mindful of the energy in our jaw, especially when back sides of the legs are starting to awaken. We can often store all of that potentially released energy into our jaw. So just make sure that you have a sufficient ease in the jaw. You can even stretch to the face if need be. The affirmation, I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. your legs grow a little bit stale from this posture and holding it for a longer period, just wiggle your toes, make sure you still have life. And you might even experiment with using your will as you take a deep breath in, like water or an incoming tide washing against the shore. Let your energy extend down your legs. You might imagine two loving hands laying onto the back of your heart in a soothing and a comforting consciousness. The feeling we might get with a best friend, a loved one or parent. Unconditional love, complete acceptance of who we are as we are. The lovely experience of just taking off all of the mental and energetic armor to be open, to be in sacred space, protected in this moment. And when you do find that you're ready to rise out of the position, just let the head be the last part of the body to come up, and take the hands out on either side of your hips. And just allow a moment, even with the eyes closed here, try to sit as tall as you can in your spine, even pressing off of the earth a little bit to lengthen the spine. Look right to the spiritual eye. When you're ready, you can even release that practice. If there's anything on the lap, just take it off, and you're going to scoot the hips forwards here, knees bending. So you can choose if you'd either like to come down onto the back and take your final moments down here in Shavasana, legs extending long, or if you're choosing to stay up, you can go ahead and set your pillows for restorative fish position as your final pose. One pillow stacked after the other, palms facing up. Or you can experiment with a seated posture. You come back into Vajrasana. You just take a look at your screen if you'd like to see the example. Pillow under ankles, pillow under knees. This is a great time to take your blanket and wrap your body in your blanket, whatever position you'd like to be in. This is your choice. Once you begin to arrive in this posture, make sure that your eyes are closing down. Consciously drawing all of yourself back into the center of the spine. There is a hollow tube of light extending from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of the head. Paramhansa Yogananda taught that this tube of light was about the diameter of a garden hose, and that when our energy was no longer turned out to the senses, but rather drawn inward and offered up the central axis in the body, that we can begin to release seeds of karma along our spine. That is particular tendencies, likes and dislikes, or habits of being. So as you rest in this final pose, let this be your conscious observance. That within this tube, there's subtle energy rising up. You might think of this as a golden color of light rising through the center of your body. If you notice that your body, or your consciousness rather, is beginning to start to dissipate, if you feel that you're entering something more familiar to a sleep-like state, I'd encourage you to take a double inhalation and tense the body, wake the consciousness up, and then release. Keep all the awareness at the spiritual eye if possible. Let's chant the sound of Om together. You can hum this sound, you can chant it out loud, you can listen, whatever feels most natural. These are the singing Oms. Let them wash through your consciousness. completely still. Let's listen to this recording of Swami Kriyananda. He's singing his song, Love is a Magician.
Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe for love, all the stars above call to me, come home. Life's waves all end in foam, only love can heal all the pain I feel. What a fool was I to turn away. Love is
When you're ready, you can begin to arrive back in the body. This could be deep, conscious breath, noticing especially sensation in your heart, anything that has been awakened through your practice, any gift that has been given. Let the breath continue to deepen, arriving more fully into the body, starting to wake up the fingers and the toes, stretching in any way that you need or see fit. Eyes remaining closed so as to keep all of your awareness drawn deeply inward. And through your own pathway and in your own timing, we'll all come back to sit in a comfortable seated posture. As you're arriving, take a little rock from one side to the other. Try to feel the points of your hips or the sits bones pressing into the earth. And there's a lovely little neutral position that you'll be able to find by just rocking side to side. And then go forwards and backwards as well so that you can feel an upward lift in the spine and where it's effortless to sit in that position. And then finish with a little spiraling. This is a great way. Just keep spiraling like you're moving up a staircase further and further, higher and higher through the body, and getting tighter and tighter towards the center until you come into perfect stillness at the spiritual eye. Palms facing up on the lap. Just take some moments to have our own personal experience in the stillness and the peace of our practice. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. Let's draw a deep inhalation, and if you choose to join, circulate the arms all the way up overhead. Hands into prayer on exhalation, softening until thumbs connect with the breastbone, resting on the chest, center of the heart. Gently draw the chin towards the throat and get a little taller through the crown of the head. Feel the devotion in your heart awakening. Towards a greater reality of consciousness, a greater expression of who you are. And if there's someone in your life that you'd like to pray for, now is the perfect time to call them in to this space that we've cultivated together and to see them enveloped in this field of light and higher awareness that we are all bathing in. And the same harmony that's flowing through your body, see it also flowing through theirs. whatever troubles them in body, mind, or spirit, let it be, at least in this vision, perfectly alleviated in accordance with their own divine plan. And with real sincerity of your heart, wish for their well-being. Pray intentionally. For in truth, we want all of our brothers and sisters, every last soul, to be able to experience peace and a union of their own consciousness with the divine. That's what we're all seeking, everlasting bliss. So let's send waves of that bliss by rubbing the palms together. And then extending the palms out by the sides of the head. Relax the physical body, shoulders relaxed. Offer yourself as a channel for grace to flow into this world. Be an instrument for peace. Let's sound Om for 3 rounds together, joining when you're ready. Coming back into prayer in front of the heart. Let's close with the prayer. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Join when you're ready. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Gentle bow of your head towards your hands in prayer. Just taking a moment of reverence, and we're bowing to that place within ourselves that is loving, that is kind, unconditionally loving, our own divine nature. Bowing to that in every soul by saying Namaste. So Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much. Take your time as you're ready to come back. Take deep cleansing breaths. So this is a golden opportunity for meditation, for any sort of additional practice. Even having some tea or reading something uplifting, you're sort of you are in the perfect state for continuing this energy. You might just go to bed now and really carry it into your next day. It's such an honor and such a privilege that we all have here together to be able to experience peace and calm in our lives. There are some people that can quite literally go an entire lifetime without feeling truly at peace. So thank you all so much for taking that time in your own lives, and I pray for all of us this week going forward that we take the time that we need, whatever it is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, phone call to a friend, walk in the woods, whatever it is, but just to cultivate that spirit. So again, thank you all so much. Have a lovely, lovely evening. And enjoy the beautiful weather. We have more coming if you're joining live anyway. All right, take care, everyone.